Yeah, okay. All right. You got any questions? No, you? Woo! Okay. All right. All right. We're live? All right, good. Thank you and welcome into another opportunity. We're here at the Greenville campus at the House of Reconciliation. We're at 1427 Suite E Launch Road, Greenville, South Carolina. Please, we have the opportunity. I think we said one time before that if you are a bilingual interpreter, we would love to have you be a part to interpretate in Spanish. We already have an ambassador to Haiti that interpretates to our Haiti audience. And so we're looking for a bilingual interpreter to help us here at the Greenville campus. That is 1427 Suite E at Lawrence Road. We'd love to have you come and interpretate for us. If you are a Latino gospel group, we'd love for you to come and be a part of what we do. If you're urban, we love that. We're trying to add to our praise and worship team. We also are trying to look for country gospel. So if you're a country musician and you love gospel music, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can hit us up on social media or you can give us a call at 864-671-0030. And so I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I just told the audience, I know people want to get out and go shopping, because we shop on Jesus' birthday. This ain't about Jesus. We going to shop for ourselves. Then we're going to thank Jesus and ask him to help us pay for what we bought. So just to say that we have the 3 for 3 campaign that is coming to a close. We will not bring it back until April. And that is that we support the food bank in Greenwood. We also support Adopt a School, which we assist with elementary school. Did not know that we have so many young children that are going to school that are not properly dressed and prepared with undergarments, shoes, and socks, and needed things like toothbrushes and being able to refresh themselves so that they can participate in class. Then we have Shoes for Africa and Clothes to Haiti. So feel free. You can go to www.houseofreconciliation.org. There is an online button to give. We do also have a book that is out called Basic Financial Steps, and it is a wonderful Christmas gift. We thank all of those that watched and was a part of the national broadcast that was on, I believe, last Sunday night. We are ecstatic about that and happy, and we're able to increase and have an opportunity to be able to share the book with everybody. It's called Basic Financial Steps. You can go to the houseofreconciliation.org and you can look for the online bookstore and purchase it there. And to all of those that purchase it in Oklahoma, in California, in Florida, New York, and even in New Mexico, and in the state of Texas, we thank you for all that you've done. And please let others know that that's where you can get the book. We're working to be able to bring it to other platforms where you can get it on Audible and things like that. So we are working on that in the background. I want to welcome you in. We've been talking in this winter series about purpose over people. And it kind of spun out to a couple things of dealing with self-manipulation, people manipulation, and corporate manipulation. And so we kind of started out with purpose over me. Because before I can address others, I first have to address me. So we kind of got to the middle of the road, and then we started dealing with purpose over people. And that's where we are now. And so our base scriptorials are in Proverbs, the 11th chapter and verse 1. James 1 and 8 will be great for your reading. And there is another scripture, I believe, in Matthew. I've got to find that. Matthew 13 and 28. And this one is in the New Living Translation. And what it does, it tells you that you're not always fighting things with yourself. So we're dealing with purpose over people, dealing, accepting, and understanding my own reality. We kind of got to this point when we had a conversation about if you or I can respond to everything that happens in our life through our feelings and emotions, then it's truly not the test of change. And a lot of people have an issue with being tested Being tested and having challenges and obstacles is also a point of information, discovery, and learning and adapting. We cannot stay the same and meet every new challenge in our lives. Basically, if you put it in lay terms, you cannot be 6 months old and have teeth and the ability to eat a steak. You have to grow, and your digestive system has to be receptive now to eating a steak. And so sometime in life, the things that we want and the places that we want to be, we have not necessarily properly prepared ourselves to be in the place. Even though we see other people who were there and we say, well, they didn't do this and they didn't do that. But here's the thing. You're not going to be able to watch their life long enough for it to burn and crash and fall down. I'm going to give you a word right now starting out. In 2022, we have to learn how to build infrastructure in our lives. So here's what we came down to. We came up with, why am I stuck and still struggling in life? But I don't think I'm really stuck. This evening, we are going to use a couple terms. Trapped by. What do you feel like you are trapped by in your life? The next question comes to this. What's holding you back? And what's holding you up? So we dealt with self-manipulation, low self-esteem, issues within ourselves, codependent upon other people. Now I want to deal with the psychological effect that people words have on you. It goes this way. The things people say and put in our heads and in our sight will cause confusion. How did we get the people manipulation? The average person is looking for validation in their lives by other people. And I'm going to say something to you. It's going to be a little odd and strange. Just because you ran a race, and just because you graduated from school, doesn't mean that you're all together. Just because you have a spouse, you have a house, you have a car, it doesn't mean that our lives are balanced. These are things. They are not who we are. These are things. They're not who we are. The team that you cheer for, the job that you work for, that's not you. Money doesn't define you, and not having money doesn't qualify you. We have forgotten, as people, who created us. Your parents are the recipient of what God allowed to live on earth. And being and having a communion and a relationship with God is more than just going to church. It's more than just being associated with a denomination or a nationality. It's more than that. Because here's the caveat. The Bible says, for God is a spirit. How connected to God are you through your spirit? Because Proverbs 11:1 talks about a false balance as an abomination to God, unto God. And here's the whole catch. The last time I checked, God was a spirit. And many times we're out of line because we're out of line spiritually. We have the earthly things. These are the things that you and I can possess. But what we cannot do is control the relationship with God. And we normally start turning our backs on God when he says, no, I need to develop you before I answer that prayer. Why? You don't have the spiritual fortitude. You're not mentally or spiritually strong enough to be able to handle the weight of the pressure of the blessing that you're asking me for. And the whole point is the same thing with church. They're going to be fighting, shooting, stabbing, robbing, no place to park, lies, watered down drinks, all at the clubs and the Christmas parties. People use alcohol many times as a way to let the real person out the bag. And then they blame it on, oh, I was drunk. You wasn't drunk. You just received the boldness to say what you really wanted to say. So alcohol becomes an excuse. So here's the thing. The things people say and put in our heads and in our sight, because sight can be damaging. Because what we see, we normally believe. And I'll go ahead and say this. It's like the word yes. Yes gives you an answer, but not a solution. Yes gives you, yes it does. Okay, math. You're an engineer. You can come up with 8 plus 8 is 16. But when you've got to add the other metrics and the fractions, and you got to go to trigonometry and calculus, all of a sudden you got to work a formula. So you can say, yes, I can do math, because you're doing first grade math. 1 plus 1 is 4. 2 plus 2 is 8. Okay, thank you. He's like, that ain't even right. I don't know who was this math teacher, but he is totally offline with that. He is, and he's telling people that. But this is because it is the process. It's where you get the understanding of yes. I'll make it even plainer. You watch your parents drive a car. They throw you the keys. You think you could get out the neighborhood without knocking over mailboxes and running in the ditches? Yeah, that's what I said too. I can drive on the game, but in real life, real hands on a real steering wheel with real bumps in the road, and a pet runs out in front of you, and then a creature runs out in front of you, and you put on brakes and you break your own neck.
About like that Geico commercial where the squirrel runs out.
Yes.
And then you go off the road trying to avoid the squirrel.
Right. And so here's the thing. We have to be careful what we let enter into our spirit. You have to be careful, because here's what happens. I'll give you a couple things. It's going to be a little tight. You guys are ready to pick up the pace? The things people say and put in our heads and in our sight will cause confusion. Here are the top 3 things they normally cause: pain, discomfort, and dysfunction. Pain, discomfort, and dysfunction. You know why? Most of the time it does not align with your infrastructure and the Spirit of God. They put in you what they want to hold you back or hold you up or cause you to stumble and fall. And many times it's not always people. We put ideology in our own head through what 4 things? Illusion, imagination, hallucination, and hypothetical thinking. So sometimes we self-destruct ourselves. There's a position that you need to apply for. There's a time that you need to go back to school. There's a time to have kids, and there's a time to re-educate yourself, and there's a time that you should be pushing forward. Instead, I talk myself out of everything that I know I should do. And then I lay blame to everybody because I'm not able to do what I said I was going to do. Now I'm going to say something to you, and this is going to be real calming, and also may rub a couple people the wrong way. We cannot fix ourselves alone. Going into 2022, we have to get away from this addiction of self-medicating.
Operating on yourself.
Yes. There's some people that no matter what a physician says to them, no matter what the numbers say, no matter what the results can be. I've talked to people as a leader, and they were like, "Well, that's what they say." I said, "Did they do a blood test?" Well, yeah, they did a blood. Okay, then normally when they do it, they run 1 to 5 tests, and so 4 of the 5 come back with this. Well, I don't believe it. Even in the DNA study, we have to get to this point. That's why I said this class may not last too long. Is we can't fix ourselves alone. And that's part of the issue with self-manipulation, because self-manipulation and people manipulation will cause you to withdraw from society. It will cause you to withdraw from people. Fear and doubt will put you in a room and imprison you for your life. And when you got fear and doubt that's controlling you, it normally leads to, and I have this written, it normally leads to being oppressed. And when people are oppressed, they become depressed. And when you are depressed, you become suppressed. I'll say it again, because when I try to fix myself, I am normally trying to hide from an oppressor who is oppressing me. Something that I don't want to face, and I give in to fear. Fear tells me, psst, psst, come on, Reggie. Come on, this is the way out right here. Don't answer that phone. Don't speak up. Shh, 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 shh. They're gonna talk about you. They already don't like you. Yes. So, real quick, let's go to the slide. It really says you had a purpose before anyone had an opinion. So when we can't fix ourselves, we can no longer continue to self-medicate ourselves. Here is something I'm going to say. And it doesn't matter who you are. And it's going to rub some people the wrong way, especially in the church world. Mental health is a reality. Mental health isn't a joke. Mental health isn't something wrong with you. We all have issues. Mental health is real. In the church, mental health is real. If the preachers and the bishops and the popes and the archbishops and all these titles that the prophets and the prophetess have, why are the lives in such turmoil? Why are they divorcing if they got Jesus and all this stuff? Why are the people speaking in tongues and shouting and all that stuff and all that I come from, my roots, I'd never hide from it. Apostolic Pentecostal holiness, that's my roots. Because sometimes you try to act out and you really need counseling. Because not only are you spiritual, Paul said it was a dual being. And he said there's a war in my members. Does this make sense? You can't hide from everything. You can't speak in tongues and everything go away. Everything is not the devil. It's not. So here's what happens. Mental health is reality. Everyone, even me, everyone needs a realignment with God. Now watch this. Everyone, even me, I don't care. I'm good. Okay. Liar, your pants on fire. As long as you are human, you're going to need some human intervention. Okay? If you don't believe me, go sit somewhere and expect Jesus to come feed you. You are not Elijah. You're not going to get a raven that's going to bring you some food. Okay? You are human. Everyone needs a realignment with God and reconnecting with themselves. You can fix some problems in your life, but the major problems in your life, you're going to have some assistance. And let me break that out. Many times a person needs help on many different levels. In some instances, a person will need a psychiatrist. Yes. Yes. You, me, us, Eulums, get them, Cletus, Chloe, Becky, Henry. Right here at Christmas, many times people need a psychiatrist and sometimes a psychologist and also a spiritual belief and a relationship with God that should come from someone who is a spiritual counselor, not someone that's just out there telling you and everything they tell you about is wrapped around money. Yes, let me look at your side eye when I say that. No. Yeah. Sometimes your issue is not always spiritual. Your issue sometimes is centered around attitude. Your issue sometimes is centered around behavior, focus, discipline. Hmm? Well, feelings and emotions is really a part of being human. It's just, and we all have them. You just have to realize who you're going to let lead. That's my whole point. And normally, most people are led from the outside in. So you're going to need sometime a psychologist, and you're going to need someone who is spiritual. Because many times things happen to people and they don't understand, if God loves me, why would I be going through this? And if you check the history of the 39 books of the Old Testament and 27 of the New Testament, nobody got by. Nobody got by. And so we need to understand that Satan, this smile of the wolf, you got that one up? This smile of the wolf has a twofold thing. One, it's already consumed you in its mind. And every time you or I do not work on our gifts from God, the enemy consumes our day and consumes our seeds because we did not focus on the things that matter. Get out of other people's lives. And get into your own. Stop taking all this advice that come from people. Now, I don't mean no harm, but I know some of y'all done call the psychic. When have you talked to God? Well, I'm just trying to find out which way I should go. Why don't you ask God? No, see, here is the thing. Spiritual belief and relationship with God in order to recover. When you don't have, and you might need, and you have to pick out which one you want. Here is what you don't get. This is how bodies get in the basement. Things we ignore. Issues we never resolve. Things we never talk through. So we kill it and bury it in the basement until something comes along and reflects back what we have hidden. Those deep, dark childhood secrets. Those times of misunderstanding as a youth growing up. The feeling of abandonment. The feeling of when you saw your sisters and brothers get more praise than you. You feel left out. It's not always jealousy. Sometimes it is, but it's not always jealousy. Because, see, jealousy is something that you have to create. Sometimes you put in an environment that other people create. And there are sometimes that parents and grandparents have picked. Hello. And you're not the favorite. You're not grandpa's. You don't look like grandpa. So grandpa don't talk to you. He doesn't teach you how to clean and fish and hunt and do all that. So then you want to go with grandpa, but grandpa, oh, you stay here, stay at the house. And he gonna take big lip up, say, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Whew. He gonna take the other one down to the lake. He's gonna spend all day with him. And as a youth, as a child, as a young boy, as a young girl, when grandmother doesn't ask you to help her bake cookies, there you go. And so what you do? No, no, no. We start hiding the pain. We start putting it in the basement. And then we start pretending that it didn't happen.
Does that develop into hatred?
Yes. And hatred is connected to jealousy. And anytime someone is a volcano within themselves, because of the unbalance of the emotions and the feelings and what they have been scarred and what they have seen and not being accepted, because you're not tall. Everyone else in the family is 6'4", and you somewhere 5'2". It creates pressure. So everyone else in your family is 6'4", 6'5". They're athletic, and somehow you reach way back in Papa line, and you 5'1", and nobody wants you to play on the team. And you could be, because people measure you by sight. So this is how bodies get in the basement, because you feel so bad and you feel left out that now you hide your pain. So now it realigns your attitude. It realigns how you hear. It realigns how you respond. It realigns and rewires your brain. Because self and fear and doubt tells you, ain't nobody ever gonna hurt you again. So you stop living. And you start surviving. And you start reacting. And as you get older, all those bodies in the basement. And what it turns you into is a serial killer. Because no one is meeting you. They're meeting a sum of hidden pain and brokenness.
You ever listen to like people that do serial crimes like that, sex offenders? They'll say it's something that happened in their childhood that triggered what happened in what they're doing there.
What happened in their childhood is because the enemy, the wolf, always wants to steal your innocence. And if you're damaged early, oftentimes you're damaged often. Yes, if you're damaged, if they've forgotten you, you haven't forgotten the pain, you just hid it. So now you're out of balance because you never dealt with it. So now when you respond to things, as you said, young man, now it's pressure and it's a volcano. So when somebody's like, hey, what do you want about how I'm doing today? Let me drive my car. Yes, and it starts coming out. And now, can I give you another one? When it comes out, you'll always have Buckethead Charlie. Man, you cussed them out. You told them off. You know what that's called? Violent coaching. Yes. So now you're like, oh, Grandpa didn't take me fishing, but they like it because I had crazy. Well, people with common sense, but people who violently coach you now will cause you to be the lead dog to do something stupid. Many people today are sitting in incarceration and have damaged their life all because of violent coaching. Because here's what I act up, just like with security. Sir, if you say, you don't tell me what to do. Sir, I just need you. What you working with me for? This here, my space. you're like, sir, the bank is closed. I don't care about the bank being closed. If I want to stand here, I'm going to stand here. Now you down there, click, click, lock the temper.
There's fire for that.
Yeah, get ready for that. Because the leaking volcano. Because you're not at yourself. And then people will take your pain and use it for their own advantage. Now that was pretty thick and heavy, right? I got one more slice. I think we gotta go because I'm drained already. All that extra hollering, boy. I think I might need a beer or something. Anybody got a beer? You know? I know that was. Somebody. I bet you that one gonna get looped a lot. He said, that preacher, I knew he wasn't no good. Oh, I knew he was the devil all the time. Oh, I saw it in his eyes. They can't take a joke. And Jesus said laughter was good. The Bible says laughter was good for the soul. Yeah, but I feel the weight of sharing this with you, and I feel the weight of the audience that are watching it. Because here's what I want to give you. And we have a little song in the background that we don't own the song. I can't remember who the gentleman is, but it's a beautiful song. Is, help me get over people. Here's what happens. Whether you, me, or you, it's the same thing that God did for David. God will send someone to try to realign you. This is why I said sometime you need a psychiatrist, sometime you need a psychologist, and sometime you need spiritual instructions. And because what they're saying to you and me, and I'm included in this as well as you, it's not that you're a bad person. But when you're so ultra sensitive, we take everything personal and never constructive. We take it personal. Someone's trying to better you. The whole purpose of successful living is a better you. The whole purpose of basic financial steps is a better you. Because you deserve better. But as long as we continue to embrace and hide our pain, our hurt, and here's the truth, and I had to learn this the hard way. Many people are not ready to turn their life around. They'll talk the talk, but they won't walk the walk. And I've had to learn they haven't received enough pain. They haven't been shot enough. They haven't been cursed out enough. They haven't failed enough. See, when you really want change in your life, you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you get tired of the mindset, and you get tired of the behavior, and you get tired of the failure, and you get tired of the struggle. Because see, failed hope takes away belief. And I have a piece of that coming. I don't know when we'll get to it, but it's on the list. Because see, when you have hope, there's an expectation that comes with hope. There's an accountability that comes with hope. There's a responsibility that comes with hope. And so some people, they don't want a hope. They don't want faith. Faith hurts too much. Because faith means I have to be responsible. Faith means I have to engage, and I don't want to go and be engaged. I just want someone to rescue me, even if they put you in the boat and pull you out of the water, my brothers and sisters. You're still going to need a heating blanket. I don't know what they call them, but you're going to need something when they pull people out. You're going to need a thermal blanket or something, something they got to put around you. There's a point in your life that you're not going to be on the stage. You got to heal. You got to acknowledge. And you got to acknowledge that people use you and hurt you. The key to stop being used by people is stop using yourself. And start to better yourself. To start to eliminate excuses. Because here's what happens. Many times it's your mother, it's your father, it's your uncle, it's your aunt, your spouse, your brother, your sister, and everything they say to you, you take it personal. but you'll engage violent coaching. You engage negativity. You engage criticizing others. You engage in dysfunction. And when you're in dysfunction, you're in pain. And you're at a discomfort. So when you see people who love negativity all the time and they cheer about negative things, it's simple. They're in pain. They're in confusion. They're in discomfort. So they're literally cheering someone else's misery because it distracts from their own. Does this make sense? Because what happens is, from the damage, we have got to go to God and recover from the damage of self-inflicting wounds, as well as people manipulation, as well as voices from other people in our head. Violent coaching is real. Because you're still trying to get accepted, and you don't know that if God allowed you to wake up this morning, you are literally accepted in his kingdom. And his best men and women had issues and trouble. God doesn't walk away from you because you have issues and trouble. This is why I wish people would really teach the Bible the correct way and quit talking about all these blessings and miracles and all that. Because once you get a blessing, you still got to deal with you. Once you get a miracle, you still got to deal with you. Once you get a house, you still got to deal with what's in that head. Can I work with you for a minute? Can I steal about 5 more minutes? Can we go to the one with you can replay it. Can we go to the one with the voices in the head? See, because sometimes God is calling you, but you won't listen. So then God has to bump you upside the head. And so when God bumps you upside the head, you got to understand that the reason you don't want to listen, can I really go deep here? It's because you got trust issues. And we have insecurities. And I'm going to give you 4 things real quick. Others' voice have more power than the voice of God in your life. Any test that God has given you, he didn't give it to you to destroy you. He knew you had the power to overcome it. You just didn't have the will to overcome it. I'll make it plain. I know some of y'all are looking at me. He said, no weapon formed against you. So whatever the enemy created is because you didn't have the will and the faith and the determination. You submitted and you stooped down to argue with the enemy. So then when you wouldn't acknowledge it, these are the things that he breaks you up into pieces. And now he's manipulating you, and your own spirit is manipulating you. Trapped by other people's voices. We have to learn to stay at an even pace and be smart about what you do and when you do it. Number 3, don't be driven by the big picture. Ask me why. You can never achieve anything if you don't understand the balance. And please, number 4, don't buy into the hype of other people. Many times it's violent coaching. They get you to do something that you go to the office for, but yet they go back to their classroom. Now you got to explain to your parents, why were you acting like that? Now let me give you 4 things that we need. They're very short. If you, I, whoever, I said sometime in our life we need a psychologist, we need a psychiatrist, and sometime we need a psychologist, and then sometime we need a spiritual person. That's spiritual. And all the time that don't come from a title. Let me just put it that way. But they got to be spiritual in God. Because you know some of y'all be stirring them pots with them chicken feet. Be careful who you ask. Okay. Everything I hear in the spirit world is not God. Okay. I'm gonna look at you right like. But here's what you're gonna need. You're gonna have to open your heart and open your mind and accept that you need to be guided. That's number one. Number two, you need to find a positive team that will encourage you in good and bad times. That means you need to find some people that believe in your gifts and talents and believe that there is a good person in you. Number four is you need to acquire tools, education, certification, skill, trades. You need to show God that He didn't make a bad investment in you. God doesn't want your excuse. He wants to see your effort. Tools. How are you going to advance yourself in 2022? Number four, ongoing support. What does that mean? If you're going with a crowd and they're positive and moving in the right direction in their lives, then you're like-minded. But you will sometimes have friends that will fall out. And what does that mean? Ongoing support. Sometime you will go up before they go up. As long as you're both crawling, you're good. But when you start advancing, you enter a new realm in your life. So when you have ongoing support, they support you when you're in the limelight. They support you when you get promoted. They support you when you get a new house. They support you when God blesses you with a spouse. They support you. Ongoing support. Because that's the circle you need. Because here's what happens in the last minute. Many people are excited and ecstatic about Christmas and Merry Christmas and the New Year. Here's the thing. We're looking for a new year, but we're still functioning in old patterns. Same excuse in 2019, same excuse in 2020, same excuse in 2021. Now we're about to enter in 2022. And here's the thing that I always say to you. Before you can be ready, you have to prep. Have you collected the things that you need to be successful in 2022? Where is your plan? You should have had a plan in the month of July, and you should have been every month processing yourself. So when the new year come in, you can be asleep, awake, or whatever, but you cannot do what you have not practiced to be good at. Yes. Because what happens on January the 1st is it will be just another day. Yes. Because I was talking with someone who works in HR, and they shared with me this. Only 4% of the people in the world have goals. Only 4% of the people. I'm going to ask you, what percentile are you in? Do you have any goals? If you're stuck on the people manipulation, then people manipulation along with self-manipulation, you will have no goals. And God didn't intend for your life to just live, struggle, survive, poverty. That's not where God has you. Most people, not all, most people are in poverty because they continue to make bad decisions. Most people in poverty is because they put trust in people that are not trustworthy. Most people broke is because when they get money, they don't know how to handle money. And when they get money, they don't understand money. Oh, I know this ain't what we want to hear before Christmas. We done ran up our credit cards. We ain't got no cash. Mortgage and rent and mortgage and car payments due. I ain't paying my car payment. I'm going to get me that scooter. I'm going to get me that shotgun.
And the agent's gonna get you.
Yes. As I close, stop trying to impress and learn how to live. God bless you. I'll see you soon.